bundled with our work under Prosperity Pathways, which is typically produced the day after. We're producing this on Tuesday, as we always do, and Prosperity Pathways is on Wednesday. Check out our landing page for our podcasting at worldofability.com/shows. So today we're going to bring forward our feature compassionate citizen, Irene. And so, Irene, if you want to get started here, give us a little background on yourself personally and a little bit on the citizen residential level. Just what brings you here? What's a day in the life of yours, Irene, and help us get to know you.
Well, thank you so much. Oh my God, Kurt and Emily. So honored to be here. I so appreciate this. I love what you guys doing. This is totally aligns with my heart and soul, mission, and purpose. And about me. So my name is Irene Vaksberg. Today I reside in Los Angeles, California, but I was born in a little town called Gomel in Belarus. And my parents immigrated to this country in 1979. I was 11 years old. So I've lived in this beautiful country that I call home now for over 41 years. We landed in Los Angeles, California. We landed in Providence, Rhode Island first. That's where I began my journey of learning English and figuring out who I am and what I am. And our dad told us when he brought us to this country, this is a land of opportunity, and go out into the world and live your dreams, be kind, help others, do because you want to, not because you have to. Help the neighbor, not because you're waiting for the applause, but because somebody needs your help. This is how I grew up. And so this is so perfect right now that we were taught is about others. It's about sharing, caring, giving, and supporting. And that's kind of how I live my life. At 11 years old, I knew there was going to be a hairdresser, helping people feel beautiful, right? And didn't realize what was I've been hoping from it, because at 11 I just wanted to do hair, but it was so much deeper. At 16 I became professional, and there was many moments through that process. I realized how important hair is for people. It makes them feel better, makes them feel good about themselves. You know, if your hair looks good, you look good. You know, remember this commercial? You know, this I'm moving, but nobody can see you. But I think you can see me. I know it looks kind of funny. I just realized I'm literally moving my head. I know. And so I realized that what I chose was bigger than that. And what I chose is exactly what my father said: help others, right? By uplifting them, by giving them joy. And that's the mission just kind of began from that moment, right? Helping others. And as I moved into my career of doing hair, I realized that is mental health also. That in my chair, it wasn't about the haircut. It was about that human sitting in my chair and sharing the most private moments of their life that they could not share with anyone. They sat in my chair and told me, oh, I get emotional, because I feel so honored that people sat in my chair and shared the most deepest, darkest secrets. And I felt so honored that they trusted me with them, right? So, you know, like a good Samaritan, right? Like it was like they used to tell me, I share more with you than actually my therapist, or you make me feel safer than my therapist. I'm thinking, shoot, I don't charge enough for my services. The therapy is free and the haircut is $50, right? And then you just kind of like, wow, like I really can make a difference in somebody else's life. And then I realized, then I got married, I had a baby, I became a single mother. I wanted to have a salon. I wanted to have my own business. That's why we came to this country. And then another mission came when I became a single mother. I realized that single mothers are overworked, underpaid, live in a lot of moments of the child, right? Not me. So I decided I was going to donate my haircuts to single mothers. And I wanted to make sure that all mothers are important, but because I was a single mother, I knew how it felt not to be able to afford something. And I said, whatever you can pay, if you can't pay anything, it's free. It's on the house. Just come in, let me at least blow dry your hair and make you feel better. So, I don't know how much you want to know, but I've done a lot and I can continue going. And then I met a person that was involved in nonprofits. And there you go, my father's voice, Irene, you have to help. Not because you want applause, but because you can at what you do. We created a book drive. I was involved in an organization called Reading to Kids. They build libraries in the inner cities. And I support them at least 4 years for sure. So I did haircuts for books. People brought books and I gave them haircuts. And I raised 500 books, 500. They said it was the biggest fundraiser that ever had 500 books. So for me, it's all about community. I love and I thrive linking arms and supporting others. Should I continue? I don't know. Let me know. I have more.
Yeah, we will have you continue, but let's kind of interact on this a little bit.
Sure,
so
please.
Yeah, so I appreciate your story about coming into this country, and you shared with us your hopes. There's a lot about America, about living the American dream and things like this. So that's a lot of fuel in your life. That's kind of the story that you told is kind of this land of opportunity here in the USA. And so you're living it out, and you talk about how community is so important. And you have you have was it a son or a daughter? Or?
I have 2 daughters.
2 daughters. Okay, so you have 2 daughters, and so basically being a mother and so forth, and you interact with your daughters and you're part of their life. Any insights on that, like in terms of how your daughters are doing and kind of what you're hoping in their life?
Oh, my daughters are, they're great. Have their own ups and downs. And one is a mother of 4 beautiful children. So my grandma of 4, 3 girls and a boy. And she's she's stay-at-home mom and amazing. Like, I give, applause to all the stay-at-home moms. It's a full-time job and more. And my youngest is 20. She's about to continue her education, communication. She's a fabulous artist. She creates bags, jewelry, stickers, her art. She sells it, has a little business on the side, and she's amazing. They're both of them amazing in their own way. And I basically tell them exactly what my dad said to me, support others, inspire others, be a good person, do and live life like it matters, right? That we're leaving a footprint of goodness, not destruction. So I always want them to make sure they add, not just subtract. Is that the right word? I get excited and I lose English. Can you hear me? Inspire
Yep. So I'm just kind of doing some stuff in the background here. I apologize.
Okay. No worries.
Yep, my system is not keeping in timing with me, so that's all right. So I like everything that you're sharing, and it helps me kind of come at this from a definite vantage point, because there's a lot to be said of what's going on in America from the female perspective, the women's perspective, and there's all sorts of women's groups emerging, and this is really getting to be a transformational time in our country. I don't think it's talked about that much that way from the women's perspective, but I think if we just think of what we are aware of happening in the women's sector of the USA, there's a lot going on. I mean, women are really tearing it up out there and going gangbusters, and really imbibing in the importance of gathering together and having support to each other as women. And so you were speaking to that on an intergenerational level, and being a grandparent, there's a lot of support and nurturing and compassion being shared within the family. And then you tell about your father talking about that I would call it an outward focus, that it's not just stay hunkered in at home and just, hoard it for yourself. Your father instilled this element of compassion, which is think of what you have and make offer to others and share and care. And so really a fantastic story you tell about what your life represents. Speak a little bit in terms of where you feel you're going at this point in your life, and with what you're trying to do with your life as a grandparent and other roles you have in life, parent, grandparent, and other roles. What does the future look like to you? What are your aspirations now?
And it goes, try not to get emotional, but it still goes back to my dad. And what I'm going to share with you, this is where my future is going. This is where I want to be. And this is how I want, if my children ever have that opportunity, I'm going to share another story. I guess I'm a storyteller today. But 5 years ago, my granddaughter and I, she wanted some ice cream, and we walked into this Russian pharmacy. Russian ice cream is nothing like it. If you can find a store that sells the Russian ice cream, I really highly recommend to try it. And we walked in, and nobody was in front. And I started talking to my granddaughter, and two women recognized my voice, obviously. And they said, "Oh my goodness, are you related to Gregory? That's my dad's name. And Sophia, that's my mom." And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Why?" And, you never know if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. And they go, "Oh my God, your dad helped us so much." And they proceed to list all the things that he has done for them, and how he helped them when they came to Los Angeles, and how he did without asking. He just knew that they needed something, and that brought so much joy and tears of happiness. I'm a very emotional person, and that touched my heart so much. And this is where I'm going with. This is what I want my legacy to be, that one day my grandchildren, my daughters walk into a store, and somebody recognizes I sounded like your mom, and it's you are Irene's daughter, and they're gonna say, "Yes, I am." And I want them to be as proud of I was of my dad as the same way. I want to inspire my children and others to literally live life with their heart and their soul, create experiences, powerful experiences, right? I want that for myself. I want that for my daughters. This is like was because he's still alive. And I went home and I told him that. And a lot of the times that happens when the parents pass away, right? And people talk about them at their funeral, and I heard it while he's still alive. So that made me very proud and very honored to be his daughter.
Yeah, as it should be. So yeah, I'm very impressed with everything you're doing, and I appreciate the friendship cultivated between you and I. And in this, let's go back a little bit in terms of sharing with our audience, in terms of how you and I do come to know each other, and these Zoom connections, and and we're pretty repetitively here on our podcast about the Happy Neighborhood Project. But do you want to give your own little rendition of the Happy Neighborhood Project and then lead up to kind of what you recollect in terms of knowing a guy by my name, Kurt Roskopf?
Well, the neighborhood project, what a life changer for me. I can't even, I mean, we need 9 hours, not 90 minutes. It has changed my life in so many ways. So I became a member of this beautiful community because I have met so many incredible people, and I want to continue with joy and happiness and optimism. And that's what this platform is. And I was referred by a beautiful gentleman, Alan Holmes, and I met him through another connection. I am linking arms with veterans, and I am changing their lives through this incredible neurological wearable technology. And that might be, another story for another time, but we connected through that because he's a veteran and I donated some stuff for him. And he said, Irene, this organization needs you, your spunk, your energy, and your purpose and your passion. And so I joined. And then you and I were in one room and another room, and we linked arms because I'm all about, again, supporting and sharing and caring. And I had my own story with disability and pain and inability to do certain things, and that we connect through that aspect of it. And I wanted to support you, and I wanted to be part of your journey and see how we can change lives on all levels together. And I'm so honored to be here. And Emily also, it's, together we're stronger. That's my login, and everything that you do, every platform that you have, it's really close to my heart. And, I want to be part of it if I can.
All right. So, yeah, Irene, we have some Kool-Aid, and so have it Kool-Aid and help people drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, I'm refilling as I'm sitting here. This is, and it's hard for me to be here, and had some difficult last few days, but this is so important to me, and I just still wanted to be here and support you in all of this because together we're stronger. And I knew when I come here, my heart will fill with love and optimism, and I'm going to feel great after I'm done. And I am. Look at me. I'm smiling. I'm on cloud nine. Well, nobody can see me smiling, but you can see me smiling. I think.
Well, we are out on Facebook Live and YouTube.
Oh, we are. Well, there you go. Oh my goodness.
But you appropriately point out we do go out on some platforms where we don't carry over the video, and we're just on audio platforms.
It's perfect. It doesn't really matter. I come on my live every morning. What it looking like a hot mess, but I have a hot message.
Well, tell us more about your YouTube and your videos. How does it connect for our audience? What are the references? How can our audience find you?
Well, so I'm on everywhere. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have 3 different Instagram pages. I'm on TikTok. I have a big message of inspiration. I have a big message of giving up is not an option. I have a message of hope and baby steps better than no steps. I have a message that sometimes we have to surrender. And and I never liked that word, surrendering, because to me it was like defeat, right? Like surrender, you defeated. But what I've learned and reflection where I was 3.5 years and how I actually did surrender, but I just used the word giving up, but I didn't give up because I still was talking to God and telling him, well, I'm done, but give me this option. So there's always a way out. There's always a door that will open for you. And I have a big message. So I have to be on many different platforms to let you know that you're not alone. that your darkest moments, your obstacles will become your brightest light. And that this is where we learn. This is where we grow. This is where we find ourselves. And, I have to go into my car accident because I would not be here with you if it wasn't for that. 8.5 years ago, I was on the way to go home and change and celebrate my birthday. But instead, I ended up in ER. A gentleman fell asleep and T-boned us. And my life was never the same. And my journey of living in chronic pain, anxiety, depression, of loss of my mindset that's pretty strong. I've never been in such a desperate moment ever in my life, because not only my business was lost that took over 30 years to build, but also my health was taken away from me. Chronic pain is very difficult to live, and when doctors don't understand it, it's even more difficult to live because there's no help. And they neglected me on so many different levels that my body began to shake and spasm. And the shaking could be from 3 minutes to 3, 4, 5 hours. I never knew when it would begin and when it would stop. And I kind of gave up. And I began doing videos of talking about it. I began videos of sharing how I am in such dire need of help, but I'm looking at my glass still being full and overflowing and refillable. And so this platform was born out of my darkest moment, but it's my brightest light now. And I come on here and say, I know how you feel. I know you're not alone. And I know you're praying and you don't believe it, but God does answer. And God did answer with this little crazy song that I wear that changed my life in 7 seconds and gave me that mission, gave me that purpose, gave me that passion, because I never thought I could ever cut hair again the way I lived. And, like I said, I wanted to be a hairdresser since I was 11. That's all I knew how to do. That's who I am. That's how I identify. That was taken away, and I had to basically recreate myself. And so I get up every morning and share my words of wisdom of glass is overflowing miracles. Don't give up. Hold on just a little longer.
All right, sounds good. So is it okay, Irene, if I show our audience your YouTube channel?
Oh, please do. I need all the support. The message needs big and loud, and it needs to spread of hope.
All right, folks. So here you have Irene's YouTube channel. She's sitting at 89 subscribers with 11 more subscribers. All of a sudden, other capabilities in the account open up. So let's be compassionate citizens and get those subscriptions. I'm showing here that I am subscribed to her channel. So I hope at least 11 of you out there will get her over 100 subscribers now.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. So Irene, you had pointed me to some specific videos before, and you had referenced one of them as you were talking. You want to guide me again how to best find that video you were talking about?
So you can just, you're already on my page, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm on your YouTube channel.
Okay, I see it. Go to the oldest. How do we find that? So
here we go. Let's go to
videos.
And then so you want to go to the oldest?
Yeah, normally there's a little little dot that says
oh, in terms of how to sort
sort. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm learning how to do all of this.
Yeah, so let me see here. Because
if you put my name in, it's actually probably like the first video that jumps up.
Okay, so you're saying just to do a search on your name?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Right there. That's my brain mapping, and then underneath is my video that I was referring.
This is
There you go.
Dr.
Nope, that's my brain mapping. Go back.
December
Okay.
11th, 2000.
It's the one
Yeah,
underneath. See the one
Are
underneath.
are you hearing the sound of the video? Did I select to share sound?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
That's the one.
This one here? Okay, here we go.
What we do in Xenogenics is take
All
a
right,
very
so let's,
detailed look at all your body systems, starting from your
I'm gonna
brain.
wait for this commercial here.
We just gave him some free advertisement, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so are you hearing that?
Yep.
Okay.
Not clearly, but I'm hearing.
Well, is it coming through the screen?
Kurt, I can't hear it.
Can't hear it. All right, folks, bear with me here. I'm gonna start this over and we're gonna get the sound in here. It'll be a lot more effective. So I'm stopping the screen share. I'm going back in. Yeah, I did not have the share sound settings. So now we have that. Here, let's catch this again.
Just wanted to show you what happens to me when I don't have my technology on, and this is how I walk. It's very literally my body right now is kind of freezing. I'm gonna go. It hurts my neck, so I'm gonna turn around and show you.
You got a whole booty shape going on,
If I could
Irene.
only lose some weight by
Too
doing
bad
it,
you're not doing that on purpose.
it would be great. So the moment I put one sock off, it slows down. Oh, it's like instant relief. It's like you can't even, if you don't experience this technology,
Wow.
you can't, it's hard to explain. It's just like this calmness comes over you almost instantly. It's completely changes everything for me. I can think. Now I need a chiropractor. Okay, here we go. Socks are on.
It's a beautiful
It's like literally
thing.
the battery instantly charges.
Oh, completely different. Walk a straight line.
Come on, box is mine. Woo! Okay, guys, there you
Thank
go.
you.
You can see me walk. You've been asking for this video. I can even salsa for you a little bit. Woo! Okay, love you guys. Get some box on.
Since I
Oh,
lost 70 pounds, I've lost 97 pounds like new.
All right, so we got a testimonial that came up right after your video. All right, so we're all set. So I just have a little show and tell here. So yeah, those are the Vox socks. So tell our audience a little bit more. What's the big deal about Vox socks?
Oh my God, every time I watch, I could never watch my videos without crying because that was such difficult moment for me. Living with no hope, and doctors telling me there's nothing that can help me. And a dear friend of mine that was diagnosed. Oh my God, it's overwhelming feeling for me. It's tears of joy, but also reminds me of the fear that I lived in, that there would not be a solution for me, right? And when I prayed to God to take me away, I also prayed to God to send me something that was drug-free, non-invasive, no chemical, no side effect, and affordable, because as a person to live in chronic pain, I tried so many different things and none of them worked. Or they worked for a second, but not permanently, or, consistently. And friend of mine that had MS was searching for something more natural and less harsh, and she found this technology, and it's right here. See this little patch? It's neurological code. I got my own. I don't think I can do that right now, but maybe next time. And what it does, it connects through your, soles of your feet. It sends a signal to your midbrain and your nervous system and puts all of it in homeostasis, balance. And what is so special about it, that is drug-free, it's non-invasive. There's no chemical, there's no side effect. And it changed my life. And that's the most special thing about it, is that they changed my life. They gave me back. They put my broken pieces together. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. And it gave me a mission to help others. You know what people say, until you walk in somebody's shoes, you can help someone, but you cannot help them in depth. You cannot help them to the degree of the, like I say, the cellular level. You relate, but you don't. And 5 years in being in many different support communities that people live with chronic pain and all kinds of disability or abilities. I rather call them abilities and disabilities. We don't have disabilities. We just have different ways of functioning and moving and thinking. And I always believed that. But when I was labeled disabled, right? It touched my heart, because and then I believed that, right? And the power of the words and the power of the professionals put me in a space of disability. That's how I gave up. I kind of gave into that pain, into that shaking. And this product changed everything for me. So now I am on a mission to change lives with this. So that's all I do now, is like talk, speak, share, fundraise. And I promise God, if he answers my prayers, that I will pick people every single month to donate this product to people that could never afford to buy them. And they're sitting there and waiting for that miracle, but tired of spending money, tired of trying this that doesn't work. I was one of those people. I waited for 4 months to say yes. And when I said yes, I still didn't want to say yes, because doctors told me there's nothing out there. So I relate, I understand. I know how to hold the hand of someone that's been in my situation. And I'm just here to say, not only with my product, that's just another part, but the most important message for me is just don't give up. Hold on. Your life is worth fighting for.
Wow. That is rich with a lot of points in there that we can move forward with. But let me pick this. In Compassionate Citizens podcast and kind of getting this direction of social work and with projects and talk about fundraising in terms of good initiatives out there. I would say in the work that I'm doing, the realm of mental health, to the degree of being there to intervene ahead of or in the midst of suicide ideation, is something that's very important to me personally, and it's got its obvious reasons. I don't claim to be able to relate to it entirely. I don't have a lived experience, of it, but I guess I've been in the midst of, enough people that have had a lived experience, and I have lost, a set of people in my life to suicide. So this is a major opportunity in our world to think about this and to get a little bit more intricate and a little bit more pervasive and more available to people when these times of need come up. And so you have shared enough that you share being a single mom and so forth. You have been in the depths of these things. We have a colleague, Anna Maria, who talks about being in this dark tunnel and so forth. And so you have a lived experience of that. and you have an aspiration of, being that shining light into their dark tunnel type of mode going on in your life. And it's an ambition that's worth sharing and to ignite other people. And this is something that I'm learning more about. Like, I learned things like you mentioned the veteran community at one point, and so our great friend Alan Holmes and so forth. I've learned something there. There's an issue of Project 22,
Yes.
with our US veterans, that 22 veterans a day, lose their life to suicide. And to me, it's something where, before I got into social work, it's one of those things, like, it's a sad thing. You sympathize, and it's just not good. It's information that we don't enjoy hearing by any means. So it's kind of like we hear it and then we kind of just shift back to our life. But the idea is, with Project 22, it's a way to say we all play a role in coming around this circumstance. In social work, actually doing agency work, they call this structure that they put to it a wraparound. So that when somebody's going through this, they don't have to sit there and find about one thing at a time. And, and then you're taking a chance how they might fall back into the dark tunnel, if I might say that you have everything they need available to them right away in a single point of entry, and kind of, effectively respond to this. But would you be inclined to share a little bit more about your viewpoint? Being somebody that, you're in the peer group of this, like I say, I'm not as much, but I'm really with you on being interested to help our future on this, to help get a swing the other way, that people in the world don't have to find these troubling times as much as it's been there. Well, as much as it is now and has been in the past, to build brighter futures. You want to speak a little bit to that?
Oh my God, absolutely. I don't even know where to begin. I have answer for you for everything. You just literally spoke to my whole entire 5 months being. So in the midst of my depression, my anxiety, and feeling I'm in this black hole that I cannot come out, like I felt like I was falling, nobody's catching me. Then I get this product and the whole slows down, moves down, slows down, and the flight and fight mode. And I've been in that PTSD and flight and fight mode for almost 30 years from my previous car accident. It all ties together. And, there's a lot in just that alone that I can share for at least 5 more episodes, and we'll maybe do another one. But in that moment, when I realized how much this technology has helped me, this light bulb went off, and I said to myself, this needs to be on every single veteran. And I went on a mission finding people to link arms with, and couldn't do it for almost a year and a half. And 4 months ago, a woman that was following me for over a year, just kind of building a relationship, began this journey of 22 push-ups for 22 veterans that take their life by suicide. And I said, oh my God, that's exactly my mission, is to create zero of our beautiful soldiers, men, women, that take their life by suicide every single day. So we've linked arms. We've sponsored 2 different nonprofit organizations. We've put 50 pieces of our technology. This is Cognitive Boost. That's where it focused completely on the anxiety and anxiousness. I am finishing my 20-day this Saturday will be 22 days for 22 veterans that take their life by suicide. I've been hiking for 22, will be in 4 days, 4 Saturdays from now. I'm so excited that I can speak. I am hiking for that mission right now, to make awareness of 22 veterans that died by suicide. And we've been having so many incredible testimonies, and we're embracing the veteran community, and just supporting them in any way we can. Food, clothing, I don't know, kids for toys for kids. And it's been incredible. I'm going back to where I began. Your darkest moment becomes your brightest light. Your hot mess becomes your mission. And from my own moment of darkness that I prayed to God 3.5 years ago to take me away because I did not want to be in a wheelchair. And I didn't want my daughter to struggle anymore, to be able to help me put my clothes on, or lying to her that I'm going to whatever, and I'm in a hospital for 3 days, right? This mission came about to help the veterans. I don't understand what they come through, could never even imagine. But what I experienced, just a little bit of that hopelessness, imagine what they experienced. And it's my mission now to be able to help them. It's my thanks for living in this country, to be able to do this, to be able to speak freely. And yeah, oh my God, I have to stop crying here. It's just all tears of joy and emotion. Is like how universe align us. And when you were saying all of those things, I just literally had goosebumps, because this is where my future is going to go. You know, you asked me where you want your future to be. Here we go. It just all comes together. This is all of who I am and what I am and what I want to become even more. So like, I want nobody to feel this. Veterans, regular people, especially kids, just humans, you know. That's all I am. You know, this is what I want to do. I want to inspire people to link arms with their words, with their action, with their money, with their products, whatever you have. Share the world, encourage the world to give, not just take.
Yeah, great messages. You are right into the crux of what the Compassionate Citizens podcast is founded on. Everything you're speaking to is the precise motivation to do this exact podcast. So thank you very much for all that sharing. And you know, when I was listening to you, I'm thinking about the idea of burdens in life. And you know, like you spoke about, you know, your thanks for being able to be in this country. You know, I really see, for me, the business at hand, as far as I'm concerned, is to take the benefits we have of the USA history and to help in engaging internationally now with all the nations of the world. I think it's time to, you know, build stronger collaborations, you know, in other countries, and to, I guess, in some sense, create, you know, a future, hopefully not too far into the future, where people can find their place in the world. And I hope this idea of which nation you're in, I mean, there's a lot to be said for heritage, tradition, things that really keep people close to, you know, and staying within their country. But when you look at it, you know, the expression of the world is your oyster and stuff like this, all these cliches out there, you know, and Walt Disney said it's a small world after all. You know, I look for a day when we can have people just be the best version of themselves at their ideal place, and that people can move freely around the world and eliminate some of these barriers to be, you know, in one country versus another, you know, to just create this matching process that wherever in the world somebody could live out their life to the fullest and that they identify the closest with, that we can just have people build a home, you know, under their own preferences. So I'm glad you spoke about your appreciation to be here in the US. And so now we get to say how we're spanning from the West Coast to the East Coast, because now we have East Coast Denise over here. She's in the Eastern time zone. How are you doing, Denise?
Good. Thank you for having me. How's everyone doing?
Oh, we are doing great, and we are getting deep into it, Denise. You're going to have to go back into the video recording to find out what you missed in the last 45 minutes. It got to be a sharing session like we have never seen. Irene is just really, offering up vulnerability and just really sharing her life story journey and, dark times and triumphs. And she's explaining this pretty much what I would surmise to be a transformative process. Right, Irene? Your life is formed.
100%. And I think it's so important to share it all, right? The depth of it and the joys of it, the dark and the light. Because, if we always smile, I think people think it's so easy, but they don't know what's behind the smile. So I'm always about authentic self, right? And it's both happy and joy, sad and failure, and joy and happiness.
There you go. So Denise, do you have any transformative stories to share with us today?
Well, I'm always about living creatively and, being a person with a disability, I've always had to do so. Anything that I've ever wanted to do, if it's been challenging, I have to figure out a way to tweak it to make it work for me. I always tell people that that's really the best way to live in life is just never think about what you can't do. Think about how can I do it? So for sure, we always have those challenges and definitely like Irene was saying that if they always see us smiling, they'll never truly understand that, hey, yeah, I have challenges, I have difficulties, I have things I have to deal with, but still let's go past that and see what we can do to have the most fulfilling and best life that we can.
Yeah, I always say we have to honor the pain to also, right? We try to run away from that, right? But it's what makes us who we are. That's what brings us, we find the ways to live. It's like when I shook for 3 to 4 5 hours and I had to finish a haircut. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this now? And I had to take a big breath. And I don't know, my poor customers, now that I think about it, I don't know how this stood around with me and still with me, and I had to find a way how to continue doing that haircut and blow drying while I was in spasms. Thank you, Denise, right? You put a smile on my face. Now it's like, wow, I did it. And I appreciate you reminding me of that power that we all have within us. We find it, we dig deep, right?
For sure. Yeah, it's great to have these outlets that Kurt provides to us that we can know that we're not alone. There are others that have either the same or different challenges, but for sure we need to be there for each other and support one another, motivate one another, inspire one another.
Oh, agree. And pain is pain. I always tell people, stop comparing it, right? It doesn't matter. If it hurts, it hurts. It doesn't matter what kind of pain it is. Just acknowledge it and release it. Pain is pain. Your pain is bigger than mine. No, it's still pain.
Exactly. It's just different. Not necessarily better or higher or deeper or stronger, just different. Yeah.
It's different. Exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Don't minimize. That's the word I was looking for. When I get excited, I lose my English words.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been one exciting hour. All right. Yeah. The power hour here happening right now. And so as we're talking here, I get to thinking about, we were talking earlier about the Happy Neighborhood Project. And so we got this conversation to the point of bringing forward that reality is for too many people out there, the life experience of suicide ideation and the statistics around who loses their life to suicide. And so thinking of the Happy Neighborhood Project and the story there, if we're all familiar with Edwin Atterbury's YouTube video, searched out by happiness as a default position, and we find that video that is a TED Talk. the part that jumps out at me is the part where he's talking about getting a call back from one of his, 1,000 people he interviewed about happiness. And the one person called back and said, you know what, Edwin, I was living in suicide ideation, and I was actually not having success with counseling or the psychologists and so forth. So really, Edwin got credit for really being a lifesaver, in the conversation he had. And in this whole acumen, that Edwin brings forward, he's got with happiness as a default position. He talks about within all of that, happiness as a skill side of things. He's got the 3-minute rule. And so he shares about the 3-minute rule to say, when times are tough or you're dealing with something and something is bringing you away from your happiness, give it 3 minutes, vent it out, acknowledge it, and, know it's there, and do what you got to do to just purge that. And just give yourself 3 minutes that whatever the moment brings that you got to do it. But then say in 3 minutes, you're going to return to happiness, that when you get into it, you promise yourself in 3 minutes, you'll be happy as a result of letting it out and letting it go. So I really think that's a very powerful acumen and guideline and guidance that Edwin gives. So Denise, do you have any particular things that you want to bring out of what we all benefit from being a part of the Happy Neighborhood Project and Edwin's work?
For sure. One of the things I'd like to add to happiness as a skill is that just like any other skill that we learn, if you don't practice it and really be aware of your feelings at that moment, you'll lose it. It's like almost like any other muscle. If you don't flex it, it will eventually just atrophy, and you will no longer be able to utilize that skill. So it is definitely something that, being mindful of your feelings at that moment and being aware of how you can use one of those skills to bring more happiness into that particular situation that you're dealing with. It's for sure something that's very powerful. You need to definitely practice it.
There we go. So yeah, hopefully we can guide practice and re-reference it ongoing in our podcasting efforts in the days, weeks, and months ahead. And right now I want to bring in one of our Happy Neighborhood Project co-hosts. We just had our Wisconsin Happy Neighborhood Project meeting earlier today on Zoom with Free Happy Business Networking. And Emily is one of our two co-hosts there, my wife Sue being the other one. But Emily, you want to come in and give your own little flair of the Happy Neighborhood Project, and then continue on with the other roles you have here in the work that we do, and get in their prosperity pathways and onward and upward. So Emily, are you out there? Here we go. And you are muted. So here we go.
Yeah, I can do that. Everybody should, I think everybody should attend at least one Happy Neighborhood Project meeting to at least experience what it's like. But I work for a nonprofit and a for-profit, onward and upward and prosperity pathways, helping people find employment. We have a guaranteed employment program, or if you meet the requirements, you have the job. The Onward and Upward is also the fiscal agent of the Disability Channel in Toronto, Canada. Back to you, Kurt.
All right, thank you. So I guess for right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what Emily and I have coordinated as the podcasting split. And what that means is that we are syndicated out through Transform You Media Network. And so we are putting together that syndicated package of the program structure that goes out over that. And we are at the end of our available time for that part of it. So we are going to, after I'm done with a little wrap up here, we will keep the Facebook Live and YouTube Live going, but we'll be doing a little bit of a break. So Irene, I don't know if you have time to stay past the top of the hour, but if you are, you're welcome to. If you got to get going, we understand. I know you just pop back in, but if you have other things to move off to, otherwise we'll be keeping the live streaming going past the top of the hour. But in the meantime, real quick for our one set wrap up here is I am Kurt Roskopf, your host of the Compassionate Citizens podcast here every week. Again, please do reference our landing page, worldofability.com/shows. And we hope you're giving us a like on Facebook with the Compassionate Citizens Project. So the Compassionate Citizens podcast is a part of the Compassionate Citizens Project. And we do put these videos out on the World of Ability Podcast Network as found on YouTube. So in YouTube, search World of Ability Podcast Network, and you can find our Compassionate Citizens podcast video recordings. And some are watching live right now over there. And so thanks for that. And folks can give me a call or text me anytime, 262-372-1SKI. That's 262-372-1754. And my email address, kurt@thedisabilitychannel.us. So with that, Emily, feel free to bring us out of the recorded. There you go. So now we're still out on Facebook and YouTube Live. Irene, any thoughts you want to bring forward before we wrap up our live streaming? Oh, you are on mute, Irene. You came back in on mute. There we go.
Well, good. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. And I so appreciate it. And I will end this incredible experience as I always end my lives. I don't know if you had a chance to jump on and hear me early in the morning as I say, wherever you are at this moment, it's exactly where you need to be. Enjoy it, dance in it, celebrate it, scream about it, inspire others with this beautiful moment. And if you're not there yet, that's okay too. Share your struggles, share your weaknesses, share that you don't know what you don't know. Just share it. It's so important to also share that and take baby steps better than no steps. And giving up is not an option. Surrender to joy, happiness, and optimism. And I also say, your glass may be feeling pretty empty right now, but it's also refillable and it's also overflowing. There's so many incredible blessings and miracles around you. You just have to see them. And you've been blessed by the way God or universe, whoever you believe in, is the way it's supposed to be, right? Not how you prayed for it, but what it's meant for you to be. So just pray with open heart, with open mind, and think out of the box. And I always say, without you, there's no me. Together, we are so, so much stronger. So thank you for this incredible opportunity to share my story.
Yeah, excellent. You're very welcome. Our pleasure here. And so Denise, we want to give you a chance. So while we're still on live stream, anything you want to add in here on our tail end of Facebook and YouTube live streaming here right now?
Yeah, I just want to say that, I did come in at the tail end, like Kurt said. I am looking forward to listening to this again, to listen to Irene's story. Irene, you are a beautiful soul. The little bit of interaction I had with you, you just really put a smile on my face. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and Denise, we had the background of Irene as originally Rhode Island, right? Was it Rhode Island? Is it where you were originally?
Yes.
Yeah, Rhode Island. So she came into the US and, had years of her life there in Rhode Island and now ended up in California. So it's,
Oh.
so this episode has a lot of East Coast, West Coast references.
Yeah, we're linking arms all over. That's the beauty of it. Collaboration.
Yep. And so yeah, I'm coming at everybody from out of Milwaukee, and Emily is our podcast engineer, as she does in her podcast out of Madison, Wisconsin. So
So we have West Coast, Midwest, and East Coast on here.
yep,
So 3 parts of the country.
I will call it the compassionate triangle. It's not
Yeah.
I love it.
The compassionate trifecta.
Yes.
There we go, the trifecta. There we go. That's eventful. So with
Love
that, I think we're gonna button this up and we'll call that a wrap, Emily. Thank you, Facebook and